I'd say like 10.
Now, Tony,
Yes.
since our meeting downtown
Which one?
with you and brother,
Yeah.
there wasn't as much gray in your beard. So,
Fluctuates.
let's don't have to address that.
It fluctuates.
If it's going in that much,
You know, it
in a
started.
10-day period.
It started growing. It started growing a long time. I'm new at this, trying to diet, get it all over my face, my cheek,
I'm
my
Eva.
chin.
Hi, I'm
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, it's getting different. I think the part that kills me is my hair. My wife's like, "That was for you."
Hey, look here. You either got to be all in or all out. So I began to be all in for a guy in the gray, because mine doesn't go gray, it goes from black to white.
Oh yeah.
So I get rid of the white, and I go pretty once every month. So that's all right. I got plenty of time for that.
You know, Richard Smith.
Yeah.
He tells me that all the time. My wife, she goes, "It makes you look
Distinguished.
distinguished."
I said, look, my wife don't like it. I tell you that, distinguished. I'm going to hold on to you to come on.
My father, he was he had a big, huge white beard. He went gray early. My mom was telling me, "You're just like your father." I said, "I don't know if I want that." All right, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we have a good deal of people here. I'm not seeing anyone else coming to join us, so we'll go ahead and get started. Is there anyone that needs translation that didn't get it? Everybody should be good there. All right. Well, welcome. Good morning.
Good morning.
Come on, it's Saturday. Good morning. Good morning. My name is Anthony Smith. I'm the instructional superintendent for the Denver Summit Schools Network. And today we're going to go over the agenda on the PowerPoint. Before we do that, I'd love to recognize a few people in the room and give them an opportunity to speak to you fairly quickly. First, I want to recognize the two principals in the room. We have Jerry Martinez, principal of the high school. We have Ms. Suzanne Morris, she's the principal of the middle school. Additionally, we have a lot of teachers and staff from Ncas. So if you're a teacher or staff from Ncas, would you please stand? Thank you. Additionally, we have two individuals that I want to give a round of applause, but then give them an opportunity to come up and speak to you. First is Happy Haynes. She's one of our school board members. And another one of our school board members, Landry Taylor. So before we get started, I'd love to bring them up to say a few words to you, and then we'll go ahead and get into the presentation.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
That's good. My name is Landry Taylor, and I am the representative for this particular district in our Denver Public School District. And as you have looked at the agenda and you know what we're about to do today, I just wanted to leave you with a few words before I invite my colleague from the board, Ms. Happy Haynes. First of all, I wanted to at least give a shout out to our student leaders, who, without our student leaders, the board's decision may not have gone the way that it did. And I must say that I feel a little embarrassed by that, being an adult. And it was our student leaders who took up the baton and said, wait a minute, there is more than maybe you know about Noel Community Arts and Science. And they educated me. So as I stand before you, I think it's also worthy to recognize not only our student leaders, but of course we are here for a very important reason today. And I've been in this auditorium many, many times. Both my daughters graduated off of this campus. And I see my student leaders up front, and my adults aren't up front. And for the challenges, and the opportunity that we have before us, the adults are going to have to step up and be role models, following, unfortunately in this case, in the footsteps of our students, who have taught us how to stand up, contribute, lead, and be recognized. So even though the room isn't like it should be today, I look at this as being a first step. Because I, just like you, want to see this auditorium packed the next meeting we have. I, like you, am committed. So I want to thank our student leaders who had the courage to educate an old man like me. And hopefully they've passed some of that on to the adults in this community, so that we all can follow their leadership and their voice to make sure that Noel Community Arts and Science Middle School flourishes. It has a great opportunity in front of it. The students have did a remarkable job to help me understand that. So now I ask that the adults do like me and start to represent. Let me bring up my colleague from the board, our DPS at large, our representative, Ms. Happy Hands.
Thank you, Landry. Good morning. It's great to be here this morning. In many ways, this is an opportunity for a new beginning. And what I'm going to share with you, this is interesting because a little civics lesson about how you can arrive at the same decision, but a different pathway. And I really appreciated the opportunity to work with the student leaders in Ncas High School. They're listening to their thoughtful considerations. But it wasn't those particularly that brought me to this decision. Because and we need to be aware, and you'll see some of the information today. There are some really big challenges in Ncas Middle School. Big challenges. And we can't close our eyes to those. But what I examined, there are a couple of things. I came to the decision because I looked back over the last few years and saw a tremendous amount of turmoil and changes. So many of those changes not driven by the school, but from outside, from the district. The school moving, changes in how the school was configured, new leaders of the schools just this year, even after the school year started. So there were a lot of things, what I call intervening events, that had an impact on the ability of the middle school to achieve its dream. I want to acknowledge somebody in the audience who I'm sure won't want to be, but he spoke at our board meeting, Edmund Buddy Knoll, who is the son of Rachel Knoll. A lot of what was in my heart about making my decision was thinking about Mrs. Knoll, who was an extraordinary mentor of mine, and her vision as a school board member on how to provide the best opportunity for kids. And so this was a decision that had to be made with both your head and and your heart. And at the end of the day, for me, it was a little bit of my gut too. There was I had to go with my instincts about what we had done and hadn't done to support this school and what opportunities there were. Now, how many middle school students and parents are here in the audience today? Okay, so I'm gonna issue a hard challenge because we were on the verge of making a decision about fundamentally changing this school, and we made a different decision. And today, maybe Saturday is not a good day, but I'm troubled by the fact that we only have 3 families in this room about the future of this school. And we have given this school a new lease on life, a new opportunity going forward to create a future that is different than the one that you're going to see in the data and that you see in the information that you have in front of you. It's going to take every single member, and these high school students, God bless them, they can't do it. Their voices, I hope, are going to be the call to action for this community, but it has to be the students, the parents, and the staff, and the faculty of the middle school. This is a call to action, and a new lease on life. But it isn't a permanent lease. And at the end of the day, we have to do, Landry and I and Anthony and the decision makers at the district, we have to make the right decisions for kids and to make sure that they're in an environment where they can succeed, where they can be, where these young high school students are going to be with bright futures. So we issue you a challenge to you, and we will be there to support you. And my commitment is we will be careful about the things that we do that get in the way of your ability to try to turn this school around and make it successful. But we're also issuing a challenge, and that is you've got to step to the plate. When there are meetings, there are going to be some meetings about designing the school's future and what happens. And so I hope and thank you for the parents who are here this morning. And I urge you to reach out to other parents and encourage them to be involved. And if we've got to do it at a different time and a different place, come to you, we will do that. But we need to make sure that you're standing side by side these faculty members who also want to make this school the very best, and that you're rolling up your sleeves and you're at the table to say, here's what we're going to do to ensure the future for our young people. Because we want those young students to come and be sitting in these seats of these articulate and committed high school students who have bright futures. So thank you for being here today. Next time, drag a couple of your friends and other people, and let's make sure that you are involved in the next steps to build a school that my dear mentor and friend Rachel Knoll would be proud of. Thank you.
All right, again, thank you for giving up your Saturday. We're going to go ahead and get started. Today's agenda, we're going to go over the DPS Board of Education's decision, talk a little bit about how the school and the community got to this place, look at and explore some challenges as well as opportunities, understand how we can get families more involved, and then gain some feedback and information from you guys, and also answer some questions. So I'd love to get started. So as we know, on January 14th, there was a recommendation that DPS phase out and replace the new middle school. On the 21st, the decision by the board was that we do not phase out the middle school, and more so that we work together to create strategies and outcomes as a community. So we collectively work to improve the outcomes of no community arts. Oh, clicker. Sorry. So as to how we got here, it's really important to understand, and I think it was really well said a few weeks ago there's an intensive data process that goes through when you look at the school. You look at the school's performance over time, and you look at the school's performance now. And those performance metrics are the SPF, the School Performance Framework, as you can see, dating back to 2012, as well as an internal review called the SQR, School Quality Review. And all of that is a body of evidence to support any recommendation. Each of you should have received or picked up a copy of this. Is there anyone that doesn't have a copy of this? What I would love to do right now is give you a few minutes to touch every page, to look at this and review it, so we can talk a little bit about it and get your input and hear your thoughts about it. So if we can take about 2 minutes to really just kind of explore, read the front three pages, 4 pages, it'll really help give you context.
We need to fix that. This is it. I'm not sure people can see.
We understand it may be a little bit difficult to see. We're definitely trying to get more lighting, but this is the light that we have. You may want to whip out your cell phone and your flashlight. That helps a little bit as well. So it seems like everybody's gotten an opportunity to kind of look through it. As you're finishing up, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to find a partner. I'd like you to get close to somebody or get into groups. And the question I'd like you to discuss is, what thoughts does this bring to your mind? After looking at this, what comes to your mind? I would like to take about 5-6 minutes for you really to dialogue with your partner and say, what does this information mean to you? All right, if I can get a few volunteers to share what their thoughts are and the context of their conversation, that'd be great. We have one in the back.
My name is Amy Craig, and I have 2 students that go to school here. One is in junior high, and one who is in high school. I sit on the Board of Education for Denver Great Kids Policy Council and Policy Committee. I got voted in as president on Tuesday, and what I would like to see happen is for Head Start to carry on into education throughout the child's whole entire life. They have a great program, and I think DPS needs to just continue. As far as the support for the families, Head Start is great with that, and I think that DPS needs to support our families more and be involved. I think the children that are reaching out, that are angry every day, I've walked through halls and I've seen kids just upset. That affects their learning. And we as a community need to come together for each and every one of these children, and that right there is going to bring these scores up. I think that we need to have parent meetings and bring more people. You guys got up on a Saturday and came to a meeting, which is great. That means you can come to more meetings and be involved, because that's what's gonna bring these scores up, is being involved.
Thank you. Other voices, other voices.
Hi, I am Christina Mancuso, I'm sophomore class president. I was going around talking to people, and one of my teachers mentioned we should have pep rallies or something as motivation for middle school so that they don't feel like, oh, high school is better, they get to have all the fun, so why should we even try anymore? Just give them motivation, maybe hang up posters. Because looking at this paper, it just upsets me and all of us in the room. So if we have something to give them in return for their excellence or their growth, then I think that would be efficient to them.
Thank you. Other voices?
Can I stay here? Or should-
Yeah.
Please.
Okay. My name is Phyllis Charles, and we have
Get the mic close.
It's not close enough?
Yeah.
We have a student in middle school here, and this is our first experience with this district, I guess. And our grandson, the experience hasn't been good. And to start it off, back to school night was the first, well, my first experience of the negative, I guess, pieces of the school. When I came here to back to school night, I expected to meet with all of his teachers, and there wasn't one. I was just talking to Mr. Clark and letting him know that was very discouraging to me, because it's like, okay, the faculty doesn't care, so what's going on? If the faculty can't be here and to be concerned about what's going on with these students. There was one, I think it was one person that was here. Her name was Randy Johnson, and I met with her briefly, and that was like the math, a little side. What is it, math? What? Math fellow. But anyway, I met with her briefly, and then the next week she was no longer his math fellow's person, so I really didn't meet with anyone. So that was my first concern, that something's not right. So then as time went on, and the first 9-week period came to an end, I met with Stephen's instructors, and his grades were not very good. So I informed them that I sit down with him every night and go over his math skills, his English skills, and those skills, and I know that he's 3 to 4 years behind. I asked for an evaluation that they could do, and I'm like, I don't know if that's even protocol, but it's like, that's something that I requested, and for them to evaluate him to see where he was as far as math goes, because it's like, as long as, it's kind of like the snowball effect. If he's behind 3 to 4 years and they keep putting things on him for him to grow and learn, he doesn't have the basics. Therefore, the child gets discouraged and you begin to start having behavioral issues. And that's what we're having with our student, and I'm sure other students in this school. So their focus is not on learning and growing, but because they're embarrassed, because they know they're behind, they can't do the work, and so it's like a total loss. But we need to try to turn it around some kind of way and make it a win-win situation. And I think it begins with the students, the faculty, as well as the family, the community. But I just want to encourage the faculty members to please step up, and it's like, and be here, for the family members that are concerned, that do want to improve their students' academics, behavior, and all of that. So.
Okay. Thank you. Definitely hear a call to action. Are there any other voices in the room from other people that would like to speak? Voice there.
My question is, why don't you have the 2015 growth on there as they did show improvement? Because me as a parent looking at that, I'm like, oh my God. And I know it would have made a difference just to see the current improvement of the 2015 year.
So the question was asked is why don't we have 2015, and that's a common thread. So due to the switch in assessments, state assessments, we don't have a 2015 SPF, right? But we do track assessment measures. And so as you think about the SQR, as you look at the SQR, this is not necessarily historical. It's a snapshot of right now, where they are poised to make data, but then we also have other data points. Specific to your question, no school received an SPF for 2015 due to the change in assessment. So we'll get that out. There will be an SPF next year where we can mark and chart that one. Okay? Some other, we got a couple voices up there. Okay.
I'm just going to interpret this term.
Mi nombre es Mayra Vázquez, mi estudiante está en el grado 9.
So Mayra Vasquez and her students in 10th grade. So what she's saying is she's wondering about communication and how the communication can be a little bit better with the parents, because what she has going on is her student is very low in his grades, and she feels like there's no communication about it. So she understands that as a parent she has a responsibility, but as a school we have a responsibility as well.
Hi everybody, my name is Peter. I'm here at Bell Community Arts High School, and what I think is we gotta get the parents involved, we gotta get more parents involved, we gotta get community involvement in order for the school to actually perform. We gotta get more song. Yes. Yeah. We gotta get parents involved, and we got teachers perform at a better level, and that's how we become a better school. And next year, we're becoming an art school and we're constantly making progress, so that might be a little discouraging, but we're getting better, everybody, and that's all that matters.
Any voices from the crowd?
My name is Nazrin, and I was just talking to my peers right now about the lack of motivation we have in the schools, in the middle schools, the frustration, and there's just so much going on. And I was just thinking, what if we had one-on-one with all students in the middle school, just from us high schoolers? Because I'm a student mentor, and this is one of my mentees right here. And I always talk to him about school and all his frustrations, and I feel like that helps him and that gives him the push. So it's like if us high schoolers, us student councils, us mentors talk to all of the middle schoolers one-on-one, I think we could improve.
Hi, my name is Melissa Trujillo. I have a 6th grader here at the middle school. And there's a lot of professional development days where teachers have contact and kids do not. I think we need to think about cutting back on some of those and having maybe some veteran teachers coaching some of your other teachers and having more student contact instead of less student contact.
All right, Peter's been great coming back and talking. I think to our group's point, and that letting you talk about the mentoring is a huge thing. I think middle school is just messy because of where kids are socially, emotionally, they're going to puberty and all these different kind of things. So school has to intentionally meet those kids where they're at. So I think mentoring, making sure that we've got some trauma-informed instruction, looking at where kids have been, the things that they've been through, how do we tailor that to them. And I think when we look at this data, we see that we meet educators' opportunities to learn where we're struggling, where students have the opportunity to learn and our instructional practices are struggling. We need to look at that and say, okay, we may have those things in place for great professional development, but it's not yielding us the results that we want. So let's rethink that process and let's make it more scholar-informed, scholar-driven, set up these mentoring programs. We talked about the level of counseling support here at the school, making sure that we have the right level for those kids, and then also talking about the art program. It's a great hook when you get young people involved in arts, be it music, dance, band, whatever it is, and really leverage that and allow them to hook in. And it's got to become more personalized, more specialized rather than generalized education. We need to get more, specific with what we're doing with these kids.
A couple of viewpoints from over here.
I just want to say something about what Ms. Trujillo said. As I read the newsletters that come in from DPS, I see that they're cutting back on coaching opportunities for teachers. I see that they're taking coaches away from teachers, and I think that might just be the wrong direction. I think to add something else too is, like in the far northeast, as our per pupil spending goes up, like looking at where that money's going towards, a lot of times it's going towards like salaries instead of actually going into the classroom, into students' educations. So looking at maybe finding a way to spend on the students instead of the teachers and the staff. I know as a teacher, I would rather teach in like a high-tech classroom where I have all the resources than to get a little extra on my paycheck every month.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Matthew McReynolds. I'm the 8th grade and 6th grade science teacher in the middle school. This is my first year teaching in general, and I'm really, really proud to be part of this staff in the school. Yes, those numbers aren't where we want them to be, and I totally reiterate a lot of people's points. Christina, your point about, mentoring the kids. We have a perfect opportunity to do that in our advisement section, 6th period of the day, where it seems like an obvious thing. For you guys to voice that on the student side will really help the middle schoolers. I don't have any doubt about it. My experience as a teacher, similar with the middle school mother that spoke, kind of started back to school night. I had all my displays set up about the stuff we're going to be doing this year, and it was kind of a ghost town. And I was, staff was questioning, did the robocalls go out? What is kind of going on with this? So that's kind of when my flag started to raise a little bit as well. As far as the day-to-day, what can be fixed, if you want to put it that way, I think it all really starts with a strong structure. It seems like certain things that a lot of people, administrators, and teachers want, as far as just developing a structure in their classroom to cater to the kids that are here for the right reasons. Every kid matters, and we want to help every kid. That's not what I'm saying, but it seems like we cater a lot to, for the lack of a better term, the chaos, And I really want to cater to everybody, but the people that are kids that are really motivated and want to better themselves on a daily basis, and I feel like their growth is being stunted in a way because those structures and procedures are not in place, and I don't know why they're not in place necessarily. There's probably a multitude of factors that go into that, but we can make it better. I don't have any doubt in the world that we have an incredible staff and the kids are incredible, but I want to reiterate his point as well as far as getting more support for these kids as far as their emotional needs, their every kind of complication that goes on with middle schoolers. So we can make it better, and there's two things that I ask out of my kids every single day to be successful in my class is attitude and effort. If you have the right attitude, and if you show the proper amount of effort, you'll get there. It doesn't matter if you don't know how to read, how to do math, have a good attitude, have good effort, and you'll be successful. Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Ncas. I am a Spanish teacher at high school. I've had experiences in various contexts, various schools and levels, also performing levels. One of the things I do have to say being here is that I cannot feel prouder and I cannot feel more supported than I have anywhere else. The staff that I work with is amazing. Now, we do have our challenges every day in the classroom and outside the classroom. From how to manage making sure that our plans are meeting all of our kids' expectations, to getting the grading done, to dealing with sometimes the emotional issues that come into play in the classroom. Because I think that I could not agree with you anymore, and I think a lot of us agree with this, that a lot of our kids need a lot of support that is not necessarily learning support, but it's emotional support. And I think that when we learn how to work with our kids that way, when we understand what their challenges are outside the classroom, it's easier to work with them inside. Now, when we have also 150 students, it's a little challenging as a teacher to be able to not only make every single phone call that needs to be done, it's very challenging. In addition to everything else, getting the day-to-day and meeting their needs in the classroom, but it's also the challenge to see, okay, to establish those relationships so that the kids are able to share those with us. Not all of our students feel that comfort, even though we are on their side, and they sometimes don't think we are, or they don't know it, and I think that we need to make that clear to them every day. There was one more thing. Oh dear. This happens in the classroom sometimes too. Our kids are amazing. I just do have to say that, every single one of them, no matter what the challenges are in the classroom. Oh, I do have to say that this isn't. Consistency. One of the things, I think I'm the third or fourth Spanish teachers, or more than that, I think, since NCAS started. And I think that one of the things that we need in the classroom, because to start over and over again, I've been in 3 different public school settings and in the college school setting. And I'm telling you, this is my hardest year. Right now, this is a hard year. But next year, it's going to be easier. And to have teachers stay long enough to have an easier year, it's always so much better, because then not only do we know our kids, but we're going to be able to meet every single one of their needs, because things have already been established for us. We already know the structures that don't work, and we know what to try in order to meet their needs. So I think that efforts to keep the teachers here, and I certainly do plan on coming back, and I hope to stay here for the long haul. So I think that that's one of the big things that our kids also need. So hopefully, and this is a call to the teachers, please stick around, because I think that this is really going to
We'll take 2 more right here, and then we'll end over there.
Hello, everybody. My name is Myra Gonzalez, and I'm a graduate of the original Montbello High School, but right now I work as a community organizer here in Montbello for the Montbello Organizing Committee. And one thing that I want to address is this call to action from the community. We're sitting here saying, well, the community needs to get involved, the parents need to get involved, and I just want to ask us, everybody, what are we doing to create that culture where our parents and our community members feel like they can realistically get involved, where they feel empowered to do something about what they see going on? Because as a Montbello graduate, my school was being phased out as I was graduating. And this is a school that came in afterwards, and it was a turnaround school, and so parents might be feeling like there's just no winning, so what are we doing to create that sense of community, to create that sense of, as a parent, you have the power to come in here and ensure that your students are successful, that this school is a successful community school, and that we're not just randomly just here existing and our kids are failing and there's nothing that the community can do to come in. I was very happy to receive a call basically last night about getting involved, but that is problematic to me because people can't be readily available at the whim of a phone call the night before. I heard a parent say that she got a phone call at 8 a.m. this morning. So what are we doing to make sure that our parents are getting involved and getting that call? Are we present, and how mindful are we of that time? Another thing I want to address real quickly is the lack of Latino parents in this school right now. Just look around. Montbello is 60% Latino, and you have 3 or 4 families right now. And those families are the only ones with headsets. I think that to create an inclusive setting, we should all be wearing headsets, and these parents should be able to speak in their own languages, and then that being translated to you so that they feel inclusive, so that they don't feel like they're being alienated. Because from personal experience, my mom never wanted to come to the schools because she didn't feel like she could communicate, because she didn't feel like the teachers couldn't communicate with her, and because she felt weird putting on this headset that made her feel like an other. And so maybe we need to start looking at creating the sense of community instead of this otherness, both for our kids, our faculty, our staff, our students, and our neighbors in Montbello.
This is the last comment.
Probably appropriate that I'm last. My name is Buddy Knoll. I'm Rachel Knoll's son, and I'm here representing the Knoll family. It was very important to my mother that she was involved with the Denver Public Schools as a board member, but even more important to her that she was involved as a parent. I didn't go to Montbello, I went to East High, sorry for that. But the Knoll family is intends to be as involved with this effort as you will let us. My son is in town, and he and I would like very much to be included in the work that you're going to be doing. I volunteer to be a part of that. I may be an outsider now, I hope I'll be more of an insider later. I want to assure you that the part of the effort that I want to be personally involved with is to help bring the outside community to your help. There are lawyers, business people, in other communities for whom this is very important, for whom the legacy of my mother is important, for whom the welfare of your children is important. So I want to tell you, you're not alone. There are going to be other people to help you. You obviously have to do your part, but there are going to be other people to help you. The Knoll Community Program here has been going for a while, and I've never been asked to be involved with it. I didn't want to push myself into your school, but Ambria, where are you? Thank you very much for asking me to come to that school board meeting. I said what I said on behalf of my mother, and I will do everything I can to help on behalf of my mother.
So thank you guys for speaking. To paraphrase it, instead of what I heard is there is a lot of passion about the work going forward, that people truly do believe in our children, that we are up to the challenge, and we need to get unified around that particular challenge. And I think that's great. We have a lot of voices in the room, and I do appreciate your participation. There's a lot of opportunities that exist within this, not just from the standpoint of the data, but an opportunity to right the wrongs or to serve students better is always at the forefront. And thinking about those opportunities, we definitely, I think, are excited and empowered by the opportunity to come together as a collective and improve the school. But I think to the point of many of you, we need to figure out how to motivate and mobilize the community around this process. So with that, I issue a challenge to everybody to get 1 or 2 more people to attend, whether it be students, whether it be families, whether it be people in the neighborhood. Invite them to this process, because Montbello is a strong community. And Montbello High School and the campus embodies a lot of tradition, and people care about their schools. And we don't want to be just another statistic. We don't want to be the data, because the data only tells one story. As you can see, and I'd love us to give it up for our students and our teachers, a lot of passionate people, intelligent kids. I don't want to sit here and sugarcoat it though. We have a lot of work in front of us. We have a great deal of work that is going to require action from everybody, from the teachers, the students, the parents, from the district ourselves, and we're all committed to that. I think the one thing the district has learned is how to learn from their mistakes, and we understand what we've done wrong and are making active efforts to change it. So within this, we still need to push and keep in our mind that there's a lot of hard work ahead of us and be up to that challenge. How you can help. And again, we've talked a lot about community. We've talked a lot about what we want to see. Here's some concrete ways that you can be involved. And I do believe we have a parent in the audience who's been a part of the design process and the district's community engagement from Harrington. And I'd love for that parent to talk a little bit about how they were empowered, how they were partners with the district, and how they made changes at their school. But through this, we want you to help us shape the direction of the school. We want input from parents who would like to see more back-to-school activities, for students who would like to serve one-to-one mentoring, for teachers who advocate for additional professional development. All voices at the table are going to be the thing we need. We're going to have opportunities for you to sign up today. We'd love to get your contact information and mobilize you through Facebook, text, emails, phone calls, smiles, emojis, whatever you do, we want to mobilize you. And then, again, pledge your support. In today's society, Facebook, Twitter, all those pieces are really important. It's a vehicle for us to get our message out and to spread the word that we're a school on the rise and on the move. So I'm going to ask this parent from Harrington to come up to really talk about how the process worked at Harrington and her experience.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Marisol Vasquez. I have a kindergarten and a third grader. My baby's over here. Our design team is short, but we're trying to make it bigger. Our school was a turnaround last year, and it was a big change for our school. Where we had to meet during our vacations with the kids. On the weekends, we had to go door knocking, we had to make calls, we had to email people, and it was a great experience for me because I was a student at Harrington, and when they told me my school was down, I said, hey, I cannot be possible. So when I decided to be involved with my son was in first grade, because when my son was in kindergarten, I said, they ain't gonna do nothing, it doesn't matter to me. But then in first grade, when I heard about our school being a turnaround, it wasn't acceptable at all, it wasn't. So I got involved, and it made a big change for me because look where I'm at a school where I don't even live in this neighborhood, I live in Northeast Denver. So I was all like, why am I gonna go to a school where I don't know nobody knows me? So that's why I'm here to talk about my design team. And our design team is 8 parents. Out of 300 parents that we have, there's only 8 parents. So we're trying to make it more bigger. This year, our school was accepted for an IB program. We got accepted for more professional teachers. Also, in our school this year, we have a paramedic program where we go in our students' classes and help out 2 hours a day. The same people that are in the design team are the same people that are in the school. So there's no different things at Harrington, but we're trying to make it different. I was on Radio Luca on Tuesday, and I talked about the same thing about the design team. And it's a big change for Harrington this year, a big change. And hopefully the big change that we make this year is going to be better next year. So I wanted to say thank you to the students that are in the front for being the big boys in your school, and congratulations to you. Thank you.
So as you hear from a parent who is participating in the process, there's a lot of power in community. There's a lot of power in voicing your opinion. There's a lot of power in becoming involved. And I encourage you to exercise your power in this process. We're going to get to questions in just a second, but I also would like to give you some information. If you have more questions about this meeting or want to follow up, here's a number that you can call. Also, a lot of the documents, the information, the data that we have been using in these presentations is on the website below. We're going to try and post this to the website. I believe it already is posted to the website, but also want to give it to you here as a way to be involved as well. All right? Excuse me, one second. I want to bring up Ms. Bookhart. She is our community liaison, and she's going to ask a few questions.
Are you excited about this opportunity? I don't think I heard you. I heard a parent in the back tell me that you want to be involved, and it's not the teachers against parents and parents against teachers, it's everyone working together. Did I hear that correctly? And one of the things that a parent in the back said, I don't want to leave here today without knowing what I can do to help to support. So how can we communicate? Please see me in the back. I want your telephone number. I will be a pest because I believe, Letty, know your mother set a legacy and I want to see it work. So if you, before you leave today, if you're a parent, please sign up with me. Eva, where's Eva? My friend, Eva Perez. She knows you. Sign up with her because I believe that we can do this. I didn't mean to take it over, but I'm excited.
So Landry Taylor just also brought up a good point. You know, many times we get together and we talk about the great things that can occur and we don't follow up. And so I'd like to ask two questions today. You know, first off, who is committed to being involved in this process? If you can raise your hand. Right? I would love for us to have more hands here next time. And part of your commitment is getting somebody out here. The other piece I want to ask is, let's set a concrete date that we can start as a school, as community, as teachers. Let's set a concrete date for the next meeting. So do me a favor, whip out your cell phones, go to your calendars, and let's look. Sometimes we want to make sure that we have all the information. I'm proposing February 21st for the date. February 21st gives us the time to move things around. I'm sorry, February 27th. February 27th. It would be helpful if I got into February. If you're amenable to February 27th, just go ahead and slip your hand in the air. So the time, I would love for us to do the same time. We can go a little bit earlier. I don't know about that. A lot of people like to watch cartoons on Saturday. We can keep this same time. We can go a little bit later. Anybody who would say? So we have a motion on the floor to hold it during a school day. So a Thursday, Wednesday, right after school.
No, parents won't be able to, working parents won't be able to.
So again, I think we want to find a date.
Working parents won't be able to attend.
Yeah, they were excited because they had a half day and they want to get involved. It can be two parts. Yes, sir.
I think there really should be two parts. One maybe during the school day and one on the weekend.
Definitely something we can do. So maybe we do that week. So the 27th is a Saturday. If you're available, we can do the 27th at the same time, but then also we can think about the 24th, that Thursday. The 24th, that Thursday. Wednesday, I'm sorry. Wednesday.
That's different, just so you know.
Wednesday the 24th in the evening. So we can do 6:30, 6. Parents in the room, is 6 a good time for you? Is that too late, too early? 6:30, I have a motion on the floor for 6:30. Does that work? Again, help me out. If 6:30 works for you, if you're a parent, raise your hand. 7? Wednesday the 24th. Okay?
7 will work.
So right now, tentatively, we'll put Wednesday the 24th, 6:30 to 7:30, and Saturday the 27th, 10 to 11.
Can I invite teachers who make phone calls here until then to mention it, no matter what the reason of the phone call is, to mention it to the parents both days, so that we can spread the word and get the robocalls earlier to various robocalls too?
Perfect, perfect. So we have a teacher suggesting mobilizing teachers in their normal communication to emphasize this date. Students, we have this date, please start to push it. Community organizers, please push this date out as well. So we have Wednesday the 24th and Saturday the 27th. Okay? See how easy it is when we work together? So finally, I'm going to close with a few questions. So I know there's a lot of information that's been given to you today. I want to applaud you, first off, for being brave enough to come here and speak your mind. Are there any questions as we sum up? Do you have a question over here? A comment?
So, if you want your voice to be heard, go to the superintendent meetings. They have them once a month. They have them at different places. I see a lot of the Montbello parents here. Please go if you want your voice to be heard. It's really important. In our schools, we're working on one-on-ones. We have a goal to do 20 every month on one-on-ones with our parents, letting them know what's going on in our schools. We also go, we could meet anywhere. We go to the park, we go to McDonald's, or we could meet anywhere to do our one-on-ones. It's really important to do your one-on-ones with your parents, let them know what's going on in your school. And also, the thing I'm saying, go to your superintendent meetings. It's in the mornings, and if you want your voice to be heard.
That's a great reminder to get to your superintendent parent forums as you go through. Get to your churches, mention it to people at your churches. When you go to rec center, mention it there. When you go to the library, when you're at the grocery store, please look for opportunities to help us engage and activate our community. Our community is very important in our success. We can't do it without the students. Students can't do it without the teachers. Teachers can't do it without the parents. Parents can't do it without other parents. All right? Any other questions?
So moving forward, what's like the district's plan to improve the school?
So the question was, what's the district's plan to improve the school? And I think more so, what's our plan to improve the school? I don't want this to be a district push or levy initiative. I think what we've learned in this process is mandating reform isn't as strong as activating reform from within. So the district's plan is your plan, and your plan is the district's plan. We want to come together and present a unified plan.
So we're not getting more support or something?
So the question is, are we getting more support? We are definitely looking to support the school in any way that we can, but also, again, what do those supports look like? And I think we can I'll go with an analogy that's pretty close here, football, right? The football team with the highest salary isn't always the one in the Super Bowl. So we need to spend our money wisely, and it's not just money, it's capital and non-capital resources by the people that are in the building and utilizing their expertise.
Hey everyone, my name is Ncas, and I work with the district, and I've actually had a chance to work on a really special project this past year to answer your question very directly, where we've taken 4 schools around the city that have kind of been in a very similar place, where we want more community engagement. We want to open up the design process for everyone to be a part of it. It was at Valverde, Arrington, Goldrick, and Schmidt Elementaries. And we spent the last year working with parents like Marisol at these schools to say, what is that design that you want, and what is that capability you want to bring to the school? So I just can't say enough how excited I am to work with everyone here to build that same sort of capability out. We've brought our advocacy partners together, we brought student voice, parent voice, and I just want to say that, like to Tony's point, we want this plan to be your plan, because then we want to help you drive the implementation of that work.
We got 2 more questions. So we got Ms. Reed behind us. Right to you.
Ms. Reed, oh God. Ms. Reed. Hi everyone.
So the question I have is still, I'm gonna push a little in Peter's direction about the support. I know that when the school split, we also split budget 60-40, high school getting 60 and middle school getting 40. Because we're still continuing with the split model next year, I'm wondering, will we be funded as two distinct schools? Or will we be funded as still one 6 through 12 with a split budget 60-40?
So the question was around budgetary resources, and quite honestly, we're in the budgeting process now. There have been no final budgets submitted. I definitely can say from experience advocating for no to get additional resources. The goal is to provide resources and budgeting for the middle school to address the issues that it has. And so I don't know what that looks like up front. I definitely believe your leaders, Ms. Morin and Mr. Martinez, as you guys go through the community and collective process, will have an opportunity to weigh in on the budget via your innovation plan and your school governing advisory board. But I would say budgeting is a process that's going on currently. Okay?
I just had a question in regards to diversity training for the staff, the faculty members. And I know diversity was a buzzword of the 90s, but here we are in 2015, and I think that still needs to go on because it's like there's a mismatch, like the young lady was saying. You know, it's like the majority of the school is what, 60% Latino. So it's like you have suburbia, you know, that comes into a school of Latinos, African Americans, and how diverse, you know, is the staff? Are they equipped to even deal with these kids and the things, family dynamics and things of that nature?
Okay. That's a great question. I know we value equity in the district, and something that we definitely will move forward and take that into consideration as a group. What does that look like for us as a whole? Right, so again, how do we address diversity and equity collectively versus mandating a framework one way or the other? So it has one behind you.
Is there any way to get a mass text message system going? Because I know when I get a phone call at work, I'm not answering that. I don't know if the robocalls are leaving voicemails, but a mass text message system in this day and age seems to make sense for our community.
So what I'm hearing is a lot of great suggestions. We're already starting that process of improvement.
Just to quick sharing of information, I would like to support and communicate that I think our staff are leaders in the equity work, and I would suggest that you speak specifically to Ms. Reed, anyone who's interested in that particularly. We have a school-based equity team that is extremely active and has done a lot of professional development with our staff. You are absolutely right. It is fundamental to our success. And Ambrea can share some additional information. So thank you for that really important question. Dan?
Still, Michael.
I'll walk up front so I can record myself here. I'm always behind the camera. One thing I would like to speak about is, first of all, thank you for all the parents that are coming here today or here. One of the places that I feel is so valuable that the school has to offer for our students is the arts. Thank you. You do not see a packed house here right now. When do you think you see a packed house with all parents? Is our art shows, and they're absolutely amazing. And so I'm so proud of our students for helping give the opportunities to our middle school students to continue the arts in this area. And we will, as a school, we're working on leveraging those times to help get more parental involvement. We're moving towards a more arts-based model in the high school, which will also factor into the middle school plans, I'm sure. And we're aware we have not done everything perfectly, but we're using these tools that we have in order to we bring social justice into our arts programs. For example, our teachers bring arts in the classrooms and able to give our students a way to communicate their voice through artistic expression, which is absolutely impactful. So I think that valuing the arts that we have at the school and as a reason for parents to really be involved will help us transition to get parents at meetings like this as well.
you have it? So what I would say is that we're about an hour and a half in. I do appreciate everyone coming. What I would like to leave you with is just this. You know, it takes, many people here, it takes a village, right? Our kids aren't mediocre, we're not mediocre, and being that the task is so monumentous and rewarding, we have to take extreme measures and approaches to get to our goal. You guys have taken a great first step by just being here and being involved, but your responsibility and your call to action doesn't end here. Again, when you leave this campus, it's very important that you continue that work and you continue to outreach and you continue to support the efforts of your teachers, your students, your leaders in helping us improve Knoll Community Arts. So Ms. Eva Perez is going to close us out. I appreciate your time.
I just want to thank you all for coming out. We really appreciate all the support. Again, grab some friends, family, bring them with you next time. We passed out some comment cards, so if you feel like you still have questions, concerns, go ahead and write them on the comment cards and turn them in to me. Also, please put your contact information on the comment cards if you would like to volunteer in any capacity. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your time. Have a great Saturday and a very restful weekend. Be wearing the snow on Monday.